All right, y'all. So, if you haven't seen Big Fannie Willis's testimony, I would suggest go look it up. Holy crap, she has dug herself one of the largest holes I've ever seen a prosecutor dig themselves. As a matter of fact, she was supposed to show up to testify today, and she didn't show up, y'all. She did not show up. Don't know why yet. They haven't reported on it, so I have no idea, but she basically admitted to several crimes involving her campaign donations, giving money, paying it back in cash. Oh yeah, I paid that back in cash. She was attacking basically the prosecutor, I guess it would be. She was just very, very combative with pretty much everybody. The judge was threatening to strike her entire testimony because of what she was saying. Oh man, you got to go look this stuff up, folks, if you haven't seen it. Trump is ordered to pay $84 million, and he can't run a business, I'm assuming in New York, for like 3 years or something like that. I'm sorry, I just read the headline. It's just outright insanity, the lengths these people are willing to go to take down Donald Trump. It's absolutely insane. But what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. How the hell's your day going? I hope y'all having a pretty good day. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news to keep you up to date and keep you informed and stay on top of everything the government is doing, because we need to know. If we're going to push back against what the government is doing, we need to know what the government is doing, right? So, if you want to stay informed and stay on top of stuff, smash that subscribe button for me and turn on your notifications. And if you also could, smash the like button. It would be a very big help to me, and I would be greatly appreciative of that gesture. Now, yeah, we're going to get into some Biden stuff. Here we go, folks. Check this out. Biden impeachment inquiry should be dropped after key source was indicted. So, one of the key sources, as you heard from the headline, was indicted. He was arrested by the FBI, I believe yesterday, for essentially lying to the FBI. However, we can't prove that. But to take all of this in right quick, we've got the House GOP, specifically the House Oversight Committee, doing an impeachment inquiry investigation into the president. And then the president's DOJ goes and arrests one of their key witnesses. That seems fishy to me, but let's get into it. President Biden said Friday the House GOP's impeachment inquiry into its conduct should be dropped after the confidential source at the center of the bribery allegations was arrested and charged with making false statements to the FBI. Now, can you prove it? Can we prove any of this? How do we know the guy was lying? How do we know Joe Biden just isn't going after this guy because he is a key source in an investigation into his own actions? This is all very, very suspicious, if you want to ask me. He's lying about it, and it should be dropped, and it's just been an outrageous effort from the beginning, Biden told reporters when asked about the charges. GOP lawmakers pushing for Biden's impeachment have frequently pointed to conversations the confidential source, Alexander Smirnov, had with the FBI, relaying that the head of Ukrainian energy company Burisma told him he paid the president and his son Hunter Biden both $5 million. The indictment alleges Smirnov made up the allegations given his opposition to President Biden's candidacy. Now, wait, hang on. How do we know he was in opposition? If I was somebody that was close to Hunter Biden that knows that they were given bribes, why would I want to be opposed to that? Wouldn't you want to be on their side? Some very powerful and influential people. Why would you want to go against them if you're in their orbit? You know what I mean? This all just seems, like I said, very, very sus to me. Very suspicious. As alleged in the indictment, the events that Smirnov first reported to the FBI agent in June 2020 were fabrications. The Justice Department wrote in a press release announcing the grand jury indictment. Once again, I would love to see the evidence that it was a false allegation, right? Especially on something like that. You're like, all right, this guy took a bribe. How are you going to prove that? We already know that Hunter Biden received millions and millions of dollars from Burisma in bribery money. That's not his payment from being on the board. We have the checks, folks. They know, right? So we know that's all true. So how do we know this guy's lying about it? Once again, seems fishy. The charges were brought up by special counsel David Weiss, a Trump appointee who has brought tax charges against Hunter Biden, who once served on Burisma's board. That's all they said, once served on Burisma's board. Yeah, for what, though? You know, Burisma is an energy company. Hunter Biden doesn't know the first thing about this. He doesn't have services to offer. Hunter Biden was strung out on crack at the time, as a matter of fact. A guy sitting on the board of an energy company in a foreign country. This just all seems so suspicious. If you put all the evidence together, right, with Hunter Biden calling his dad saying, hey, we need some help over here. A couple of days later, Joe Biden calling and getting the prosecutor fired with a quid pro quo saying we're going to withhold congressionally approved funds if you don't fire this prosecutor. Then the prosecutor gets fired. Very, very suspicious, like I said. The indictment threatens to undercut the House GOP efforts to paint Biden as corrupt and pursue potential articles of impeachment. Biden has long maintained he did nothing wrong and has not been involved in his son's business. Well, you know, we've already proved that. But just like the Fani Willis case, right? We know Joe Biden himself received payments not only from his brother that were quote-unquote loan repayments, right? And there's no outgoing payment to what's his name? I forget his brother's name right off the top of my head. But they looked. There's no outgoing payment of $250,000 one time and $175,000 another time. I might be getting the numbers wrong on that, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that was paid to Joe Biden from these people, from his brother, and there's no outgoing payment. So there's lots of suspicious activity right there. They can't prove it. He's like he's saying it's a loan repayment, but can you prove it? When did you pay, your brother this money for a loan? Where's that outgoing payment? They can't seem to find it. Once again, like I said, it all just seems super suspicious to me. And now you got the president arresting key witnesses in their investigation. How much further is Biden willing to go? He is destroying norms in this country. I say it all the time. He is destroying the fabric of this country with his policies and his actions, going after his political rivals, right? We know that he instructed Merrick Garland to go after Trump. There's an email. We know he did that. He's saying, oh, I didn't do that. Yeah, right. We know that Fani Willis visited the White House, which, speaking of that, she lied on the stand saying she never went to the White House. Well, there just so happens to be a White House log where you have to sign in when you go there. And her name is on there on the same date that she was asked about that when she supposedly didn't go. Right? So these people are doing some really, really underhanded stuff. And the media is all just right there behind it like, hey, go right ahead. We can justify all this. No, you can't justify all this. If you're anything like me or you, we're paying attention to this stuff. And we see it, right? We see what's going on. We know that there's some underhanded stuff going on. And that's why we're voting for Trump. Because these people are evil and they're doing some underhanded stuff. And we need to root out corruption in our government. And it takes me and you to do that. Look into your congressman If they voted to oust George Santos, don't vote for them again. Tell anybody and everybody these people are underhanded. Look up their voting records. See what they voted on. All right, Congress is, God, they call it a swamp, but that does a disservice to swamps, because swamps can be very beautiful, especially in the area where I live. They can be very nice places. Some really good fishing, by the way. But it's up to us to help fix this country. We need to let these people know that this is not cool. We need to shut down the mainstream narrative machine by not watching their lies and countering their narrative. Pushing back against all this stuff. Get on social media. Share videos like this one with anybody and everybody you can. Tell people your congressman is probably not a good congressman. If your congressman isn't Thomas Massie, Chip Roy, Byron Donaldson, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Anna Paulina Luna, and there's probably a couple others that I'm leaving out. But there's like probably about 15 congressmen that are actually decent people, that are actually trying to change Washington, that are actually trying to work for their constituents, that are actually trying to do the right thing by this country, who are trying to cut spending in the federal government. They're trying to root out corruption. They're trying to stop all the BS with the rules and voting on this and putting in these clauses in these amendments into these bills that just don't make any sense, that allow for stuff like building a statue of Nancy Pelosi in San Francisco and building this unusable park in Alabama, or building this other water fountain over here in Kansas, whatever it may be. They're trying to stop doing stuff like this. All this omnibus crap where they just pile 5,000 or 6,000 pages of BS that somebody can slip in some funding for their district on the lowdown into this thing, because who the hell is going to read 6,000 pages of crap, of boring, this money goes to here and this money goes to here and therefore blah, blah, blah. Who's going to read all that? Not many people are going to read it. They have staff that read stuff out like this, but not many people are going to go take the time and go through all this stuff. So they slip in these amendments and all this other BS so they can get funding funneled to their district so they can get revoted. That's all they do it for. So they can get voted back into office and hold on to their power. It's all a bunch of corruption. And it's up to us to get rid of it, folks. But like I said, let me know what you think about this down in the comments section. Should we just believe the FBI is saying that this guy's lying? Do you think this guy actually is lying because he got arrested for this? Don't let the mainstream narrative machine and the Biden administration pull the wool over your eyes. Be a little bit skeptical and think about what they're doing, the strategic moves they're making to get themselves out of trouble. If you were Joe Biden, what would you do? I'll put it to you that way. And that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want to thank everybody for watching. And like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments section. Y'all try to have a good day and be positive. Peace.